There's a lot of old history that is more or less forgotten. Like for instance, the first steam catapults were actually in Germany or somewhere, maybe Ireland. I did some steam catapults in Ireland or whatever. There's this one little place, and it was like this mine, and we were. It was like I said, there was two V2 rocket sites. There was one in the desert, and there was one in Germany. And the one in Germany, they tried to kill all 5,000 people there. And I think it was JFK or probably the self-proclaimed Black King and God that was doing that. Like I said, the British Royal Council, that there's this one girl, she turned out to be a psychopath or working for Nixon or something like that. And like they were claiming the IRA or whatever, but it was actually her and the council that was being psychopaths or something like that. They were trying to maintain order. And it's like, but realistically, what they were trying to do is get me killed or kill me or something. I don't know. Anyway, though, I don't know. People I brushed up against basically, because basically, pretty much I'm this mega rich person, and they're just trying to get all they can have, and trying to use their own. Anyway, whatever. I don't know. They found themselves in a position of power and just went for it. Anyway, and they chose wrong. Oh well. Like I said, Nixon had them all fooled, or JFK, did this whole whatever thing. It turned out, like I said, he was just a guy. He wasn't a god. He wasn't anyone of any particular importance or power. He was just no different than Andrew Jackson. Just some guy who was going around like lying to people who couldn't read, and like I said, he would be doing. He'd be saying he was doing a trust or a deed, in case you die, and he was actually making people sign or having people sign deeds of trust to their properties. But they didn't know because they couldn't read, or they couldn't read his handwriting, because I guess he spelled wrong or something like that. Well, one of them spelled wrong. There were like 4 or 5, 50 in the end. Anyway. Anyway, though, so we got it straightened out, though, of course. He eventually tried to say that he owned France or Dutch land or something like that, or someplace, and he went there and he said, "I own this place, I own it. You're whoever sold it to me, and now you work for me." And they eventually hung him, I think, or something like that. They kind of went along with it for a while until he got a little psycho and got a little frisky with some of the daughters, and they killed him. So they hung him. Anyway, he didn't really own the place. I did, or I had a couple group. I think one of my factories or one of my companies, I had some very learned people, you might say, and people who could read, and they could read they deciphered his handwriting or something like that. Anyway, and it was this long thing, and yeah. Anyway, there's lots of people that went along and basically lied as long as they could until the noose went around their neck, and then sometimes they ran away and tried to hide or something like that and tried to lie to somebody else. Usually that's what happens. Anyway, like I say, I mean, there's a difference between me just saying, see, they just told people or tried to convince people of things, and it's like, I really did own things, and I really was an inventor, and I really was doing things, and it's like, yeah, I'm the reality of it. So, and I don't know, I mean, certain people, I mean, when people were cold and starving in Ireland, it's like, yeah, well, we need to take care of this. They have a legitimate complaint. They're freezing and they're cold and they're miserable, and they want help. So we're going to help them. So like I said, I think I forget, I loaned them money or something like that, and we built a new factory, and I was like, well, you're going to have to work for it. And they're like, yeah. And then they did work for it. Like I said, Irish people, I got no complaints with Irish people. They went to Mexico, they built a water system, they went over here, they did that, they did textiles, they made shoes, like as far as like Birmingham, and also what's it called, Belfast. I mean, those are some of my best people. I was like, I love those people. What are you talking about? Those are some of my best people. They're hardest workers. They worked without pay, even. Like there was times when Belfast was like, well, we know you're good for it, or we know that we're going in the right direction, so we're going to keep on working. So they did. They worked for me, and you know, through the thick and thin of it, as they say. Like, I love Belfast. Like, they were always with me, and I got no complaints there. Like, those were great people, some of my best people. So, anyway, like I said, Germany, Europe, you know, they're always the best people. Now, South Africa, those people, they got a little confused and they were a little psychotic. So, but of course, they had the self-proclaimed God and King or whatever, and well. Anyway, though, he was more public, though, and, you know, he had a gun, and he was willing to use it, you know, wore his leather jacket. And then, like I said, that little, the gold ring with the black stone, I had given that to a queen, and he raped her and killed her. And then I got found out about it and got pissed, and I ordered his death, so. Because I know where that ring came from, and he knew I know where that ring came from, so he was basically saying, fuck you to me, and I was like, oh yeah? So we got into it, and he died. So anyway, yeah. He raped and killed a queen. And then wore his little, and wore the ring like it was something. It's like, I know where that ring came from. I gave it to somebody. I'd given it to somebody. And, well, the files were inside that's why they went after, what's called, Tiffany, that one little thing that they're like, the German base is here. This is the German headquarters. No, that was Tiffany. And they had gold and some rings and stuff and some jewelry. And and it was like JFK hit it, the Yankees or Nixon hit it and basically stole a bunch of crap. And it's like, it's not really valuable. It just looks pretty, you know? And I don't know what, shiny thing, shiny stone. And they're like, must have. It's like, I gave that to somebody, had it for sale. Anyway, though, yeah, and then they killed a bunch of Germans and said, war criminal, they're war criminals. It's like, no, they're not. They were jewelry people. And anyway, it was just a big lie. So, yeah, you know, I mean, like in the end, a lot of those great people were no different than your average gang member. South Side, West Side, locals, yeah. Or G13 or something like that. I mean, you know, they're no different than like your average rapper. It's like, they're not great people. Those people are psychotic fools. Oh, my God. You know, I was investing and leading people and all this other stuff, and they were like, and I was like, oh. Oh, well. But we got through it. So, situation, unforeseen consequences or problems that occurred, and they were overcome and put down. You know, and anyway, so, you know, like I said, the Irish people, you know, they tried to call them terrorists or whatever, but they were protecting the docks. They're protecting their city. They were tired of the cities getting torn up by shooting and stuff. So they shot the people who were shooting, and it's like, well, it's orderly now. You know, it's just a bunch of farmers and people that just got together in Ireland, and they were like, "We're going to stop this insanity. We're going to bring law and order to our city." So I was like, "Well, there's no more crime, so, and there's no rape. So I mean, what do you got to say?" You know, I was like, "Well, they're acting responsibly, so I don't know what to say about. I can't say anything about the IRA or the Irish, you know, the Irish people. I mean, they secured everything and made it so there's no more, and they were feeding and they were clothing and they were, so it's like, hey, I mean, I owned Belfast in the past, and I built a bunch of cars there and stuff. But I mean, they were good people, so I mean, I don't know, you know, I mean, they wanted to lock them all up or kill them all, and I was like, no, you can't do that. I won't do that. Anyway, so whatever. Anyway, yeah. And we wanted their independence, so I was like, okay, well, that independence means you don't get any more help from anyone else. So, okay, you're independent. I was like, yeah, that's what I thought. You're going to have to build some stuff first. And I was like, all right, we'll help you build. So anyway, so I think we built some stuff. We got